Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I decided I should make a video about this topic because I talk about this all the time, but I've never really directly addressed it in a video. So what the heck am I going to talk about? What is this video really going to be about? Well, it's going to be about play with the right people. You know, in my circle of friends, we joke and we quip and talk about same old G's trifecta. That kind of covers all the bases of all the issues you'll run into in role-playing games, and that would be play the right game, talk to the players, don't be a jerk. In general, that covers just about everything. However, I'm going to suggest that there's a rule zero besides that trifecta, and that is play with the right people. And I have been very fortunate over the past year and a half, maybe even close to 2 years, of being able to mostly play with the right people, and that has been a real joy. And that has taken some work and taken some time, but it has paid off big time in terms of benefits and in terms of gaming satisfaction. You know, clearly you have to look at all the various games that are out there and realize that some are not for you, some might be for you. You do some experimentation. That's what I've done. That's what I'm continuing to do, which is a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun branching out and discovering where my limits are, you know, learning more about myself as a gamer, what have you. Talking to the players, having a lot of open communication, that's very, very important. And then don't be a jerk. But playing with the right people, finding those people that you gel with. Maybe you don't share all the same intentions, but you want to share a bunch of them. You want to kind of want the same thing out of your gaming experience, although it has been fun pushing myself a little bit, playing with some people that manifestly want a little bit of a different experience and kind of coming to a consensus, like what are we talking about here? Where are our differences? Let's try the other guy's method of play and see, am I going to enjoy this or not enjoy this? And so we've had a lot of fun doing that. So you're never going to completely gel or line up with all the intentions, but it always helps to have the same set of expectations when you come to the gaming table. But also just playing with those people that are going to be mature, that are going to be willing to talk, that are going to be willing to experiment. And I can't list them all, but I've had a lot of fun playing All for One. We know Anthony and Francois and Sebastian was. I enjoyed playing with Sebastian. I hope I get to play with him again because I really enjoyed that. You know, playing in the Vale with Same Old G, and hopefully we get that running up again. You know, people like Jason and Lee and Josh James have been a hoot to play with. This Thursday night group I've been playing with, which includes some of those people, but also people like Aloy and Jose and Jim, Complex Games Apologist, and Sam. A lot of fun, and you know, on and on. Where I'm starting some other games, but play with people like Donnie and Marcus, and hopefully starting to be playing with Louis and Andre pretty soon. We got Steffi and Angel and Murder Bunny on deck. But there's a bunch of people I've had the opportunity to play with, and I don't think all of us, if you put all of us together in one room, we would all have the same play styles. There are people that I play with that necessarily shouldn't play with each other, but the neat thing is, for the most part, I've been able to have really adult discussions with these people as we've figured out, what didn't we like about this session? What did we really like? What did we want to work on? And it's been really neat to have those conversations where maybe we bump heads a little bit, but we get through it and we come to some understandings. And maybe sometimes we have to part ways. We realize that something isn't working for somebody. But other times we figure, well, geez, where can we compromise? Where can I change my behavior? What's going on where it's not doing it for the other person? And also advocating for ourselves and saying, hey, I think right here, I appreciate if we did something different. That falls under the talk to the players, part that Same Old G talks about. But in order to be able to talk to each other and have those discussions, you've got to play with the right people. And it's been a real joy playing with people that, for the most part, do share my intentions. We do, we have the most fun when we're looking for the same sort of experience. And then tweaking that, having these discussions and keeping an open dialogue. So it's, life is too short to game with people that you don't like. Life is too short to game with people where you're going to have an adversarial relationship, or you're just not going to have fun playing together. And sometimes you have to part ways amicably, sometimes you have to part ways not so amicably, and vote with your feet. But this is a hobby that I only have so much time to put into it. And so playing with the right people has been phenomenal. And that's one of the neat things about the internet. Yes, in a perfect world, would I like to sit down at the table with these people face to face? Absolutely. But, as luck would have it, in my local area, there aren't necessarily people that share my interest in all these various games, and sometimes they're just not the right people. But I can find them on the internet, and we end up struggling through the screen, using Discord and Hangouts and everything else, and the trials and tribulations thereof. However, this affords me, and time zones. Let's not forget time zones. This affords me the ability to play with these people, even in something like play by email or play by post, which I'm looking forward to doing again. Very, very neat. And so I consider myself fortunate. And this is a great age to be a gamer because we can find all these people. You know, back in the 80s, back when we were, sending in self-addressed stamped envelopes to have questions answered by Dragon Magazine and to buy games and stuff like that, and you had to look around to see if you found somebody else that was a gamer. It was tough. Now it's amazing. You can find people all over the place. But you have to have a vetting process. I found that to be very essential, to play with the right people. And sometimes, it hasn't been a good fit and I moved on. So, yeah, play with the right people. Really, really important. Big dividends. And one last thing, now that I'm going off tangentially, the neat thing about not necessarily being in the same location is in, say, our Thursday night group, we've been able to have some conversations where we've had time to think. We've had time to discuss things and not step on each other's toes as much. And that's kind of neat. Maybe that's a subject for a different video, but yeah. I'm enjoying playing with the right people, and I suggest you do too. Make your life a lot easier. And, gaming shouldn't be stressful. It should be fun.